Hello traders everywhere, Adam Hewison here, coming to you from the digital studios of MarketClub with your midday market report for Friday the 12th of July. Record high close in the Dow and the S&P, and it's the weekend, and we all know what to do on the weekend. So let's go right to the portfolio and see what's going on in the markets. So here we have all of our trade triangles in the Dow, in the S&P 500, and in the NASDAQ, all positive, meaning very strong trends are in place here. This kicked in on the 10th of July at 15,340, and it's obviously much higher than that. That's before the Bernanke news hit. So we actually had a signal before the news came out, and that's the value of what we're doing. So the key level here is going to be obviously the all-time high that we saw here at 15,542. We're not that far away. Maybe 100 points. We could get that very quickly. It could come up. So generally speaking, we are very bullish on the markets right now. We think they're going to go higher. As all our trade triangles are all green, we want to be long, so we are long. So let's go to our next market. That's going to be S&P 500. Pretty much the same picture there. New high close, obviously looking very, very good. The level everyone's going to be watching right now is going to be the 1,687 level. If it gets over there, that's a new high. Not that far away, about 13 points away. We can see that market going there too. So let's go to the NASDAQ, which really came in earlier than the 10th. That came in actually on the 8th, 2 days early, and we actually thought that was a precursor of what was going to happen with the market. Now this is definitely on the rise, and we can see this going quite a bit higher, maybe the 3,700 level, 3,800 level on this market. So again, all of our trade triangles green, headed higher. So moving on to our next market, that's gold. Gold's had a nice rally, but really not going anywhere. Still our major and the intermediate trends are down. Only the minor is here. So it's a 55 reading, minus 55, meaning it's a trading range, and it's not unlike you've seen here and here. We pointed this out before, so that gold is by no means out of the woods yet. The trend has not turned. If and when it does, I'm sure it will eventually. We'll be alerting you to that fact. But here's one thing to look at in the interim is putting some trend lines in, and the trend line, you can just go from a very low here, just spot that up, and you can see it's sort of beginning to build a base, but this is not a particularly positive formation. It's normally a flag formation, and how a flag formation works is like this. So you have a perfect flag formation, so you have what's called a flagpole, and that's the formation. And traditionally, it normally comes on the downside. It breaks out on the downside. So we'll have to watch that closely, but we can see in these markets, you can see pretty much the same thing here. Boom, down. Boom, down. So I think generally speaking, that's going to be the trend, and we see nothing to change this trend, at least for the moment. So let's clear the screen, go to our next market. Next market we're going to be looking at is the euro dollar. Now the euro dollar had a massive move just a couple of days ago, and it sort of looks like it's waning here, but don't be fooled by this. This is the move this day here, and this is on the 10th of July. This is the day to look at, because a couple of things I'm seeing at here with the euro. Now, I'm not particularly bullish on the euro, not particularly bearish, but let me show you what I think is happening right now. You've got a very big base, and we've talked about this before, about these lows, how important they are, and you can see we've got the same low here, and this is a little bit, it went below that, but not by much, and certainly it didn't go below this. So the longer term trend right here is definitely still positive for this market. Now if you look at the intermediate term trend, that's mixed. So what you have is a trading range, and that's going to play into this market as it goes along. So watch that very carefully, but for the week it looks like the euro is going to be higher. So let's see how that works out. So let me clear the screen, go to a really exciting market, crude oil. We talked about before, this is a huge move in crude oil. We're still looking for this to go to 110. We've showed you the formations that we're looking at on here to get that measurement. Now this is a perfect weekend. If we close, let's say, over the 106 level, I'd probably want to be long this market for the weekend, because the risk is not that great, and the potential is for this market to go still higher. So here we talked about this big base this market has. It broke out of this level here. Very similar to Amazon, which we did a video on. If you haven't seen the Amazon video, you want to watch the Amazon video, but basically it broke out of the base, and this is enough momentum here from here to take this up to the 110 level. So that's what we're looking at right now in this market. So again, Very, very bullish. I would say if we go over the 106 level, close over 106, or even put a new high close in, which would be over this close right here, then I'd want to be long this week, long for the weekend. So it's very, very important to remember that. So let me just clear that off the screen for a second. And the high close, I should say, on this particular contract, this is the August contract, was 106.49. So anything over 106.50 close to that, I want to be long, so it would look like it's going to expand very rapidly on the weekend and on Monday and Tuesday. So let's see how that plays out. So going to our next market, we covered Amazon. We've actually been long Amazon. We got long, if you remember, 285, similar pattern. We talked about the similar pattern here, and it looks like it wants to go still higher. So looking very, very good on Amazon. Now, this is the thing to do. Amazon would be a classic weekend play for you. So you would go home long Amazon if it closes up towards the highs of the day, and then take profits on Tuesday when it opens. So you're going to catch the momentum and all the positive stories that probably come out this weekend on Amazon. That's our weekend rule. And how the weekend rules works, I'll see if I can put something on the screen for you to help you understand that rule. Okay, let's look at the 52-week new highs on a Friday rule. What does it mean? Well, the good thing is there's only 3 rules that you need to trade. And remember, rule number 1, on a new 52-week high, when the market closes at or close to its highs on a Friday, buy and go home long for the weekend. Now, you want it to close pretty close to the highs of the day, not necessarily on the exact high, but close to the highs. Rule number 2, exit this long position on the opening the following Tuesday. So you're going to buy it on Friday, sell it on Tuesday. Very short term. Rule number 3, if the market opens sharply lower on Monday, exit the position immediately, take the loss, and move on. There you have it. These are the only 3 rules you need to trade the 52-week new highs on a Friday rule successfully. The rule applies also to futures and Forex, and you can reverse the rule. If it's at 52-week lows, you can actually short the market if you feel comfortable doing that. Simple approach and very effective. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful.